afternoon, everyone. The Telangana AI mission welcomes each and every one of you. My name is Praveen Mokkapati, and I'm the lead for the Telangana AI mission, or in abbreviation, it's called as TAIM. I will also be your MC for today's event. A short introduction about TAIM. TAIM is an initiative of Government of Telangana that is powered by NASSCOM. The objective is to propel the state and the city of Hyderabad into a recognizable hub for artificial intelligence globally. Some of the key focus areas for Telangana AI mission are increasing the rate of AI adoption in the public sector, especially through grand challenges such as this, nurturing innovation and entrepreneurship through the RevUp program, which is an acceleration program specifically for AI startups, and through capacity building via various skilling programs for artificial intelligence. Today, we are gathered here for an informational webinar on the Telangana Mobility AI Grand Challenge. We've received tremendous response from the startup community so far, and to all the startups that are connected today, thank you very much. And also to those that are going to be participating in this challenge. Now, I am delighted to welcome Shri Jayesh Ranjan as our first speaker, our keynote speaker. Shri Ranjan is the Principal Secretary, ITENC, in the Government of Telangana. And also he's one of our strongest supporters, especially in the context of Telangana AI mission. Jayesh Garu, thank you for being here. I request you to provide the keynote address. Over to you, sir.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Praveen. Greetings to all the participants, my colleagues who are here, representatives of GHMC. Happy to see the Capgemini team, Mr. Sanjay Chalke and other members, Ms. Parveen, everyone else from Capgemini who are here. I'm very glad that we are gathering today for this very interesting event. We are launching yet another grand challenge which focuses on a very important emerging technology, which is artificial intelligence. But as was mentioned by Praveen, we are utilizing this technology to solve a very real problem. In fact, I can't tell you how contextual this problem is because it is raining in most parts of the country. And we all saw what was happening in Bangalore till a few days ago. Rains are still happening in many other parts of the country as well. But coincidentally, while we are meeting today, yesterday I got a very interesting video on my Twitter. The video was, of course, interesting because the way the camera person captured that event and the smartness of that camera person was highlighted. But it was also very tragic in one way. The video actually showed, this I guess is somewhere in UP, I think, yeah, a town called Balia, where they showed that a electric auto rickshaw, e-rickshaw as it is called, was coming loaded with passengers. The television person was actually interviewing some local residents about the poor quality of roads. And as the residents were speaking that the roads are poor, accidents happened, in the background, because the camera can capture a little bit of background as well, we've noticed that a loaded electric rickshaw, e-rickshaw with at least 10 people, it hit a pothole, tilted, and then eventually tumbled over. And obviously the interview stopped, everyone rushed there, but the camera person continued to take shots, and he showed the visuals of how people are being pulled out, and someone is very elderly, is having lots of distress, and so on and so forth. So, of course, this is something which happens very, very commonly. But we all know the data, the statistics about the number of deaths that happen in the roads because of these poor condition of the roads, etc., etc. And it's all a matter of great shame, actually, if you ask me. It's also criminal because no one anticipates death of this kind. I mean, we are in the middle of COVID, hopefully out of COVID, but while we were in the middle of COVID, we were alarmed about rising death rates, etc., which had some reason because the virus was unknown, and if you have some comorbidity, you are susceptible. But no one imagines that I'm going somewhere and my vehicle will topple over because of the pothole. I may lose a limb, I may lose my life also. It's completely heartbreaking and actually very criminal. It is not to say that people who work in civic authorities. We have GHMC as our partner government agency today. As I said, it is not to suggest that people in the government agencies are messengers of death. They want death to happen. They want broken limbs to happen. They are also sincere people who are committed to public welfare. But the magnitude of the problem is way beyond their wavelength, their bandwidth. They just don't have the wherewithal to identify pothole after pothole after pothole, and then have a system in which that response is implemented or rolled out very quickly. And therefore, we must see if technology can offer solution to take care of such challenges. We have been seeing for the past so many years on how AI has been able to really come to the rescue of governments, of other agencies in solving some of the most intractable problems, some of the most complicated problems. We have multiple use cases in which things which appear to be very cumbersome, very difficult, have been very easily sorted out using artificial intelligence. And we do hope that this one problem also, where we have tremendous potential of improving our response time, improving our coverage, gets solved through some brilliant technology intervention. TEM, as Praveen mentioned, is the nodal agency put together by the government in partnership with industry stakeholders, academia, to foster greater adoption and also R&D related to artificial intelligence. We have deployed artificial intelligence very successfully multiple areas. Agriculture is one which I would like to really name. We have done some very path-breaking work in agriculture, and there have been other domains also. In fact, just a few weeks ago, we had all assembled here to support the forest department in tackling the menace of poaching. All of us know how kind of sad that aspect of uh, the forest life is when thieves and smugglers, poachers get in and they kind of harm an animal, take away the valuable parts from that animal, and so on and so forth. So hopefully, we were able to identify some very good AI solutions. And as I hope, some of it will get very good results, which will benefit not only the Telangana Forest Department, but the forest community across the country, hopefully across the world also. Because I know that in Africa also, this is a very serious problem. So there could be cross-border knowledge exchange and sharing as well. But coming back to this particular problem, again, as I said, this is a problem which is there everywhere. While I gave the example of Balia, and if there is any participant who has some roots in Balia, please don't take offense because it happened only yesterday, and it's so fresh in my mind that I had to recount this incident. But it happens everywhere, and I'm not making any false claim that Hyderabad is immune to it. Happens in Hyderabad. It will happen quite a lot in Bangalore now, given the fact that roads were battered there for so many days, and it will happen in many other Indian cities as well. So, very important to look at providing a solution which is, of course, implementable, which is also scalable because number of portals will be thousands. The road length in a particular city like Hyderabad again will be thousands of kilometers, and if you look at the state as a X times that. So we need to again look at a solution which can be scaled, and again it should be something which is affordable. The GHMC or any other local body, some of these solutions may have to be implemented in smaller municipalities. My guess is, though I'm from UP, I've never been to Balia before, but my guess is that it is a smallish kind of town with not too much of resources and all. So if you put a very expensive solution or a costly solution, we just will not be able to implement. So it has to be a balanced solution from every aspect. I'm happy that TAP Gemini, Mr. Sanjay and Ms. Nuzar, they are all supporting this initiative in terms of resources as well. I do hope that some of their AI colleagues also will be involved in mentoring some of the shortlisted startups. And as GHMC has committed, and I don't think the commissioner is the but I guess there are other representatives of GHMC EHMC also has committed to us that they will encourage POC. They will give some actual roads for you to work on. I'm also happy to share with you that in Hyderabad, apart from TEM, and TEM also is a part of this initiative, there is a joint initiative of Triple IT. We have a great technology school in the city which is called Triple IT, and Intel. They have set up a center on applied AI research. So it is an AI research or the AI product development, which finds application. And one of the areas where they are working on is also mobility. I guess some of them also are here on the call, people from the center, the Intel Triple IT Center. And I'm sure they will also be supporting this initiative, which eventually will be tackling a very, very common problem, genuine problem, and problem which is completely unavoidable. We just can't afford even one life to be lost because of the quality of road. Because road accidents happen for other reasons also. I'm not saying that poor quality of road is behind everything, but this is a large number and a significant number, and I don't need to repeat that data. I'm sure it is more. As I was telling, this kind of solution has also been thought of before. It is not to say that someone will be looking at this problem completely de novo for the first time ever. People have looked at this problem, but I guess we have still not reached a level where a simple, elegant, scalable, implementable, affordable solution is. And we hope that through this grand challenge, we will be nearer to this particular goal than ever before. So I wish all the best to all the startups, all the entrepreneurs who wish to participate in the challenge. The challenge starts from today, and the call of application is open for for about I guess 2 weeks or so. I'm sure these kind of details will be shared in by other speakers will talk about it. But I would be very keen to know what is the outcome of this exercise. While I'm very happy to be here during the launch and I convey my good wishes, but at the end of it, what kind of solutions are getting shortlisted? What solution has the biggest promise? What are the outcomes during the POC? How is the scaling up happening? Can we claim at some point in time that Hyderabad has this elegant system? I can't say that we will 100% eliminate potholes. Potholes may come because of heavy rains or because the drainage lines are not aligned properly. Potholes may keep coming, but can we claim that Hyderabad is the city which identifies or detects the pothole the quickest and remediates it or repairs them at the earliest? So if that claim can be made by Hyderabad, that itself will be a great claim to make. And I'll be very happy that technology has supported all the steps to reach that. So good wishes once again to all of you, and let us reconvene after a few weeks to take stock on where we have reached. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you very much, JSG. That was quite inspiring, especially for startups, and some of the instances that you mentioned are a reason good enough for a problem of this kind to be solved using artificial intelligence. We will continue to seek your guidance and we'll keep you posted as we aim towards the end of this challenge and we are able to identify suitable solutions. Once again, thank you very much, JSG. We understand, that you have another engagement coming up, and as much as we would love to have you over, but we understand your schedule. So, you may continue to be there until time permits for you, or otherwise we will continue the webinar moving forward.
No, thank you, Ravi. I do have to step out because, as you would have noticed, I'm joining this conference from T Hub, and on another floor, the Startup India team has organized a big conference, so I have to go out and speak there. But I'm still very keen to listen to Mr. Sanjay on how Capgemini is looking at this initiative. So if you don't mind juggling the sequence and inviting Mr. Chalke to speak now. I know that I'm putting him on the spot, but if you can speak, I would be very keen to listen to him, and then I'll take lead from all of you.
All right. Thank you, JSG. We'll certainly do that. Sanjay, I hope that's okay. So Sanjay, it's a pleasure to have you with us. Thank you very much. And for everybody else, Sanjay is a senior IT professional with over 23 years of experience leading successful delivery transformation, delivering efficient business performance and competitiveness, as well as creating new offerings and business models. He is the executive vice president and also the global head for automation, AI, and analytics, the three A's as they call in Capgemini. Sanjay, over to you.
Thank you, Praveen. Respectable Mr. Ranjan, the GHMC leadership, the TM leadership, all my startup friends. First of all, thank you for inviting me to speak. Most importantly, I think my heartfelt appreciation to the state of Telangana for the partnership and the help for the business like us from time to time. As a major IT player, of course, we work locally, nationally, internationally with charities, non-governmental organization, doing social causes, especially on the sustainability. And that's the reason it gives me immense pleasure to be associated with this initiative and program. Uh, I think within the group, as Capgemini is a global group, of course, headquartered in Paris. Uh, we encourage active involvement of our team members in community development. In past few years, we have witnessed a major shift in our approach from philanthropic base to a strategic integration of various stakeholders within a large aim actually of impacting positively on the community side where we live, we operate. One of them was, of course, during COVID time, where we actually went on uh, building sustainable healthcare facilities. Beyond just giving some COVID aids like some concentrators, etc. We actually did building those infrastructure, and I think I was glad to work with Mr. Ranjan and under his leadership and guidance in the state of Telangana. We actually did three hospitals, two of them setting up ICU facilities in two of them. In one was the tribal district of Kothagudam, the second was Bhadrachalam, and actually within the greater Hyderabad, one of the area hospital Golconda. It was a 15-bed ICU facilities which we developed. So I think we have been very, I would say, very positive on our involvement and our partnership with the Telangana government. We at Capgemini definitely understand the technological intervention which can offer innovation. It can the solutions what we are developing can be scalable, especially addressing the social challenges what we face. We in last few years have actually developed some of the most innovative projects which has more human centric solution actually designed and suited to the priorities and needs, and actually more preferable to a marginalized communities, and I'll explain those when I speak. Our CSR projects work on key social concerns, in fact on the potential solutions, provide support for the incubation, and work with a lot of startups like you, and actually develop open source online platform for various CSR program and work as important contributors to the UN defined the sustainability, the SDGs, what we call it, sustainable development goals. So through our sustainable CSR intervention, I would say we concentrate on 7 SDGs. As you know, there are 17, but we concentrate on 7. Of course, they are very cyclical and interconnected with each other. But if I have to call out those 7, one was, of course, no poverty, good health and well-being, quality education is that's where we reach out to the underprivileged, decent work, that's the inclusion and diversity, sustainable cities and communities, that's where the smart cities which we are, and the pothole is one of them, a life on land, and of course partnership for goals, and that's how we collaborate with the societies as well as our customers to kind of build. Now, as Mr. Ranjan said, how does Capgemini has worked on those? So I think I will talk about some key tech for positive future projects which we have developed. So we call this initiative as Tech for Positive, where some of the complex education and skilling issues which we have addressed. Now, as I said, we do as a CSR which we do, but we also work on the communities. So let me name three of them. One of them, of course, the One Planet Academy is working on the environmental education at a massive level, having national and global reach. So we continue to educate people on how the planet would be affected and how the environment, and the education related to that. Second, more on the communities, we have developed an app called MATR, that is app to reduce maternal mortality. So basically, in tribal districts and the unprivileged and the underprivileged districts, actually helping them. How do you reduce those mortality, the tips, the doctors, the actual online help, etc., etc. So those are already in the communities for us. And then the Project Farm for agri and allied, tech solutions, basically actually understanding the weather, understanding the rain, understanding the soil. So a lot of those things which we do. We also work on the youth side, we call Yuvaha, which aggregates solution related to learning, skilling, economic opportunities, etc., etc. So I think these are some of the things where we use our tech. Of course, for our customers, there's a lot solutions. In fact, on the on the potholes also, I'll speak about it. One of the solutions which I have. So I think towards sustainability, internally we have taken number of initiatives, where we are working on per employee how we can reduce carbon emissions. If you come to our Mumbai facility, you will see the entire parking lot is converted into basically solar plants and solar panels. In fact, during COVID, the entire power requirements what we wanted was actually fulfilled internally. Of course, now we have at least 15-20% of the people back, so we of course need some more power, and we go to the grid and we do. But I think reducing waste, conserving our natural resources, I think we have been handling both waste, creating digital platform to actually building solidarity and promoting communities to actually take care of that. One such initiative which we are very proud of and which we actually concluded or which finished, that was committed to the larger cause of re-treeing India. And last year we came up with, even with when the COVID was on, it was Capgemini's Mission Million Trees Plantation campaign, which we did nationwide. And probably every state you could call it was involved, is Maharashtra, Gujarat, Telangana, Karnataka, Uttar Pradesh, Tamil Nadu, even Kashmir. And we basically reached the mission million mark in just 400 days. We planted, so we basically took wherever possible, opportunity what we have. Now, of course, coming back to the Telangana AI mission project, I think it is very interesting that it is actually working on very pertinent social, economic, and environmental issues. It can be, I know, you're working on the animals, human safety in the forest region, or women safety in the metro cities, cleanliness in government school, or safety of the people on the road, which is actually deals with the project what we have now. I'm happy that my team is participating very actively in assessing quality of approach notes, building of proof of concept, selecting right kind of startups ready to walk extra miles. And we could definitely help you to integrate the technology along with the social processes to find a workable, realistic solution for social good. While I say that, of course, our experts would be available in assessing those solutions, what will come. I think, as Mr. Ranjan said, he would be interested to actually see what is the outcome and what are the solutions which are finally. I think we want to get involved and help as much as possible. As Praveen introduced me, though I now lead a business unit and CEO of that, but I have been in my previous role actually leading the AI automation analytics for Capgemini. So I'm happy that we are now initiating a next AI Grand Challenge on mobility. That is, like, of course, building more sustainable communities, aiming to scout for innovative and viable solution to actually, of course, assess the GHMC. I have worked with them, as I said, when I worked with institutionalized in an hospital. But I think this is a very, very noble cause. I stay in a city like Mumbai. Mr. Ranjan spoke about Balia. It was used to be a town of our Prime Minister, Mr. Chandrasekhar. So it's not that, and we see, it happening in every other cities. I mean, as I said, I understand and relate to this problem being from Mumbai. But and I'm sure that this identification of innovative viable solution through this Mobility AI Grand Challenge will contribute immensely to road safety, not of only of Hyderabad. Telangana is known to create new solutions. I'm sure this solution being led by Telangana and GHMC would be a role model for many other cities across the nation and India. My best wishes for the initiative, and Capgemini will continue to provide a partnership, collaboration beyond the ambit of this program. So happy to help in any way. Thank you so much for inviting to talk to me on this. Thank you.
Thank you. Yeah, so thank you very much, Sanjay. The partnership with Capgemini is definitely quite crucial for what we are aiming to achieve at the Telangana AI mission, and specifically the state of Telangana. We definitely appreciate the commitment and the support that you have expressed today, and also that has been coming through from your organization since we began this partnership. So we're very much appreciative of that. Thank you so much. Sanjay, we will move on to the next speaker. So we were expecting Shri Lokesh Kumar, the Commissioner of the Greater Hyderabad Municipal Corporation, but unfortunately he could not join due to certain exigencies. But we have a senior official from GHMC who will be joining us for the panel discussion. Now we will move on to the next segment of this webinar, and before we do that, I want to mention this to Jayesh Garu and Sanjay ji. You may choose to stay for the rest of the event, or you may want to leave, as you may please. Of course, we appreciate you taking our time. We thank you very much, and also for showing that support for this important initiative. Thank you again.
Thank you, Praveen. If you don't mind, I will leave. But as I said, my commitment, our organization commitment will stay and will remain more from the ambit, or rather beyond the ambit of the program, as I said. But thank you so much for inviting, and we'll be in touch.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Sanjay. Appreciate it. Have a good one. All right. So what I will do next is I would want to walk the startup attendees that are participating in this grand challenge, some more details about it. But I also want to utilize this opportunity to bring in Rama Devi Garu, to come in and share her views. Rama Devi Garu is the Director for Emerging Technologies Wing in the IT department of the government of Telangana. She was also in the same meeting room as Jayesh ji. So Rama Garu, if you can unmute yourself, look forward to your address as well.
Thank you, Praveen. Am I audible?
You are. Please go ahead.
Well, a very good afternoon to everyone. Capgemini representatives, Dr. Nuzat Parveen, Parma Konala, our partner from AI, and other partners. My colleagues from ITNC department, Shri is here, who has been working on this for quite some time, and GHMC officials. I think the superintendent engineer, Mr. Ratnakar, is here. So thank you all for taking out time to be part of this webinar today. Well, I think this is the third grand challenge we're actually organizing it today. Actually, the fourth, I would say, but one is related to the academic one. The other three are related to the government cases. That's the reason I said three. The first one was on agriculture. It was a year back, and it was, it has become so successful, I would say, after that grand challenge. We are now working with more than 10 startups in the agriculture domain. The different projects, starting from pilot implementation, then some are on scale. So that's the kind of potential, or later on, after post POC, what we are looking at. So that was the first one. Now the second grand challenge, as Jayesh has already indicated, was in the forest grand challenge. Poaching was one of the, it's one of the use cases, but there are other use cases also. Right now, the forest department, has no real numbers, in that sense. So they're looking at, in fact, having a kind of a census, of animals using AI. In fact, just 2 days back, the team that has won the Forest Grand Challenge, went to Ahmedabad Forest and interacted with the Forest Department officials. The department officials are so excited, they've actually shared more use cases with the startup, to work on it. So that's the kind of potential that we're looking at available with the government departments. The earlier one Forest was also funded by, the Forest Grand Challenge is also funded by Capgemini. Really thank them, for being part of this. And this is the third one that we are organizing it today, and we are really excited because this has the potential to save save lives. So in fact, while for the current Grand Challenge, we're looking at small stretches of roads in different locations, but this particular use case has a potential to scale up across the entire state, and it can be replicated across India. That's the potential that we're looking at with this current use case. So probably once the POC is over, once a final winner is announced, you would actually take them to the HMC department where you would actually implement it, and the department will actually provide whatever support in terms of data, in terms of domain experience, in terms of the ground level support. That's what is happening in the agriculture sector. For example, as I said, we are working with more than 10 startups today, and all the ground level support, in terms of reaching out to farmers in agriculture, and the agriculture extension officers, the data, everything is being provided by the agriculture department. And it's like, hand-holding, what is provided by both the ITS department and the agriculture. So that's what, the current, Grand Challenge will also get access to, access to data, access to domain knowledge, access to mentorship from the government organization. So I thank the HMC team and IIT Hyderabad and my colleagues, for putting up this problem statement together in the data and sharing the data or preparing the data for this Grand Challenge. And thanks to Capgemini for partnering with us in such a critical, use case. Well, and best wishes to all the startups out there. As I said, though this appears, just identifying potholes may appear as a small use case, but as I said, it has huge potential both in scale and size. So all the best to you. Hope to see you, during the event. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Rama Garu. Really appreciate that that background, and also in many ways it helped set that additional context, which I also wanted to do during the course of this webinar. But thank you very much, Rama Garu. Now I'd like to move on to the next segment. The next segment, like I was saying, is I just wanted to make sure the startups have a chance to understand a little more about what this challenge is about. But we'll also follow that up with sort of a panel discussion with representatives from the Greater Hyderabad Municipal Corporation, Capgemini, and also our technology partners, INAI, which is the Intel Applied AI Research Center, and the knowledge partner, which is Tihan at IIT Hyderabad. So we'll bring all of them in, but before that, I want to get started with a short presentation, a brief one, but hopefully informative in nature. Before I begin, I just want to mention this to the startups that are listening in. Please use the Q&A feature. Many of you have been asking questions, and we've been typing responses over there while the webinar was happening. Please continue to use that channel, our platform to raise questions. It could be any question really that you have. We'll aim to answer that. And what I will also mention is these questions, we'll aim to compile them in the form of an FAQs document, because some of these questions have been anonymous in nature. Others might not be able to see the question as well as the response. So we'll compile all of that and place it in the form of an FAQs document on the microsite. All right, so let's begin. I'll share my screen very quickly. Yeah, I hope my screen is visible. Yeah. All right, so I'll just begin with the objective. The objective is fairly clear. The Greater Hyderabad Municipal Corporation is seeking startups who can provide novel AI solutions, especially in the context of potholes, as the previous speakers have been talking about. The key objective, if you were to look at it, is not just the identification, but more importantly, be able to classify these potholes based on their severity. We'll get to the details, but this is really the high-level problem statement that we are hoping solutions, to be developed for. Now, using artificial intelligence, we aim for that problem to be solved, and there will be video feed, which will be around 40 frames per second or higher in specific routes like Rama was mentioning. And these are routes within Hyderabad that will have these video feeds. Sample video feed was already shared on the microsite. Some of you may have had a chance to look at that. And such kind of sample feed will be provided on those specific routes. And these feeds will have to be analyzed for potholes. Now, these potholes will be visible in the video feed, and these potholes from this feed will need to be identified and classified. Now, one of the things that we are suggesting, again, there is no perfect tool to this, is, how do you classify potholes severity? And this can be done, based on the surface area of the pothole, as well as an estimated depth of the pothole that the feed is looking at. How can this be solved? Of course, AI needs to come into the fore, but really what outcomes we are looking at is, wherein the GHMC officials, remember, they are the municipal corporation for the city of Hyderabad, and hence, they may not necessarily understand, nuances related to artificial intelligence, and hence it's important that they get a dashboard of sorts that identifies the severity of potholes across those various routes, which were provided to you in the form of the video feeds. You could also look at providing the spatial density and distribution of these potholes around the city. When I mean spatial density, we're talking about spread across a certain region of the map of Hyderabad, and you say that there are certain regions where we see there's a higher density of potholes, as well as the nature of the potholes, as in terms of the severity. You might want to look at ways in which you can achieve that. And more importantly, here we are looking at archived video feed, as in this is a recording which will be provided to you, if you are one of the shortlisted startups that can work on the POC, on the proof of concept. And hence, this is not a live on the run kind of analysis which is expected as a part of the proof of concept. But ultimately, we are also looking at a capability that can do this process, the whole process of identification and classification of potholes on live video feeds as well. So this is really what you'll need to bear in mind when you're thinking through a potential solution and approach for solving this problem. Now, in terms of the eligibility criteria, this is also mentioned on the website, but I would like to highlight it for you. All Indian startups are welcome to apply. The ones that are registered anywhere in the country, not just Telangana, wherever you're from, feel free to respond. We have an age cap, no older than 8 years. So ideally after 1st Jan 2014, the startup must be registered. Any startups that are registered earlier than that, we may not necessarily consider. Although if your startup's registration date is very close and there is a compelling solution, we might want to consider such solutions as well. More importantly, for startups to be considered, the first step is really to submit the approach note. Please note that this is the crucial step, without which there is no way in which you will be able to be considered for this challenge. The approach note will really be able to highlight your capabilities for you to be able to solve this kind of a problem. There is a certain platform which we have provided on the microsite. Upon clicking apply, you'll be taken to that platform where you'll have a chance to upload your approach note. Without your approach note submission, we will not be able to move forward. So please take special attention on this and have this submitted, because signing up on the platform is not just sufficient, because we have your details, but unless the approach note is submitted, we will not move forward. Now, why should you apply? If you were a startup, you're looking at this, you're listening to this, you listen to all the other speakers, and you will listen to some more after this. Clearly, the idea is for you to be able to build and deploy your AI solution. You'll have a chance to apply your solution and be able to scale it up to a slightly bigger scale in the form of a pilot project, which is going to be offered by the Greater Hyderabad Municipal Corporation. And more importantly, for you to be able to implement this pilot project, you'll have a chance to win up to 20 lakh rupees. This is obviously SDG 11, UN SDG 11 goal, which is what your startup will be contributing to. And of course, the idea that you'll be working with one of the most progressive governments and agencies which are very keen on deploying AI-based technology, and hence you'll find it much more convenient and easy to work with Telangana. Now, in terms of the evaluation criteria that you need to bear in mind, so many of you have asked, what sort of approach note, details that the approach note should carry. The approach note essentially should be, talking about the understanding of the problem, your comprehension, the kind of assumptions that you make while developing a solution or suggesting a solution, and the solution approach itself, which might include the architecture or essentially your game plan in terms of solving the problem. And this will contain about 40% of the weightage. We will also be looking at when you get to developing the proof of concept, over there we'll be looking at the technique, the kind of code quality, the data, as well as in terms of the scalability.
Front door is opening. Front door is closing.
I'm listening to feedback. I'll have to address that. One second. Yeah, so I think it's fine right now. So I'll continue. So the aspects related to the technique, as you see on the slide, these can also in some ways be considered in your approach note, because ultimately that's a solution that you will be developing. You can sort of look at ways to include that in the approach note as well. And that the technique aspect obviously will have weightage, and that will be 30%. And the results would also carry a weightage of 30%, wherein we'll be looking at the solution accuracy, because the AI models that will be built as a part of the proof of concept will be tested with unseen data sets. And we will have other ways in which we will conduct the evaluation, but that will really have a weightage considered as well. Now, in terms of key milestones, this is there on the website, but just want to reiterate this. So we today at the 15th of September, we initiated this on the 23rd of August. We've already received interest from, in fact, registrations by around 70 startups in all, I think 65 to 70 startups. And then we have, I think, nearly around 100 or 100 more startups that have expressed interest in this webinar. And there are actually many more, that signed up. So none of these will actually count until you look at the 21st September milestone. Here is where we'll be looking at the approach notes. And until your approach notes are submitted on the platform by this date, we'll not be able to consider your registration, your application, or anything of that kind. This is completely on the platform, so no emails would work. So please make sure you fill this on the platform. We'll take about 10 days in order to identify shortlisted startups. We typically will look at about 10 to 12 startups that will get picked from the entire lot of applications. And the top 10, 12 will get a chance to work on the proof of concept. And these are the startups. On the 1st of October, we will provide the video feeds on specific routes from the city of Hyderabad. These startups will get a chance to build the AI model, the proof of concept, and the deadline for submitting that would be a month from then, which is the end of October. 31st October would be the submission deadline. During this period, we will conduct a few open houses. We'll bring in experts from the domain, from the industry, from the Greater Hyderabad Municipal Corporation. We'll have experts from Capgemini and other industry leaders. We'll also have partnerships that we already have from Tihan, which is from the IIT Hyderabad, as well as the INAI. We'll have people from them also coming in, sharing their views, during that period, in order for startups yourselves to be able to sort of take a better stab at solving this problem. Now, we will take a while, probably about 10 days to complete the evaluation process, and then we will inform the top startups, about 3 or 4 of them, who will be invited to a jury round that is slated for the 22nd of November as of now. So, and on the same day as the jury presentation, we will make the announcement of the winner, and after which we will initiate the pilot process. Now, what sort of resources exist? I mentioned about the sample data. This is there on the web page. I've taken excerpt of 2 videos that are there in the sample data. One is the road facing, as in a dashboard on a car, which is going to be looking at the road, and one is looking at the road surface, which is on the right side. And these are data sets that will be available. So the website is here, the contact details are here, so feel free to reach out. There are also a lot of questions. We will aim to answer that, but I will jump to the panel discussion right now. I have 3 special guests, and I would want to invite them. So first, I'd like to invite Varma Kunala. Varma is the CEO of INAI, the Intel's Applied AI Research Center at IIIT Hyderabad, something which Jayesh was alluding to. Varma, can we have your video on?
Yeah, shortly. I'm outside here, so right, bandwidth constraint, right?
Okay. All right, great.
Good
to see you. Good to see you, Varma. Next, we have Dr. Naga Praveen representing IIT Hyderabad, the Tihan Center. Hi, Dr. Praveen. How are you?
Hi, sir. Good afternoon. I'm fine.
All right.
Yeah.
Perfect. And I have superintendent engineer from the Greater Hyderabad Municipal Corporation, Mr. Sahadev Ratnakar. Sir, very good afternoon and welcome.
Sir, I'm very proud, sir. No other better occasion on this day, 15 September, the birth anniversary of Mokshagundam Vishweshwaraya Garu, Engineer Statesman Bharatna. Congratulations to all, and happy Engineers Day to you all also, sir. I am here. We are much looking forward to your this mobility challenge, sir. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Mr. Sahadev. And also I have Nuzhat Parveen representing Capgemini. Hi, Nuzhat. Nuzhat, we can't hear you. You're on mute.
Am I audible now?
Yes, you are. Yeah. I request all the speakers to switch on their videos. We'll have a quick panel discussion, very, very short one, in the interest of time. So before we begin, I again like to reiterate to the startups, please use the Q&A feature to ask your questions. We'll aim to answer them as soon as we can, but also we'll have this mentioned on the webpage as well. So first question would be to Dr. Praveen from Tihan. Dr. Praveen, why don't you tell us about Tihan and the expertise that you and the center brings, which will be beneficial for the startups that are participating in this particular challenge? You're on mute. You'll have to unmute yourself.
Yes, sir. So about Tihan, I just wanted to give a brief introduction. So Tihan is an interdisciplinary organization. It is funded by the Government of India under the DST mission, on National Mission on Interdisciplinary Cyber Physical System. So Government of India has sanctioned this prestigious technology innovation hub at IIT Hyderabad in the technology vertical of autonomous navigation and data acquisition systems for both unmanned aerial vehicles, autonomous vehicles, and surface vehicles. So the vision of the hub is to become a global destination for next generation smart mobility technologies for in the area of navigation and data acquisition system. And also Tihan is recognized as a scientific and industrial research organization by Department of Scientific and Industrial Research. So with this specialization, now Tihan is currently working on autonomous vehicles in both aerial and ground technologies, both sensor fusion and vehicle development itself. So
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Thanks for that introduction. And I think we will bring you in during one of the open houses, and that will really help startups to solve this problem better. Next, I'd like to move on to Nuzhat. Nuzhat, I've already mentioned this in the webinar. I'd like to reiterate that Capgemini has been a very important partner for the Telangana AI mission's efforts. Please tell us, in specific terms, and I think in some ways, we had Sanjay talk about it, but I think it'll be useful for you to also reiterate the kind of support that startups can expect during the grand challenge and even potentially afterward.
Thank you, Praveen. I think Sanjay, my colleague, has really shared with great detail about our concerns and related to education and how SDGs, we are working for SDGs and using technology in a very big way to evolve some of the solution which are human centric, and we are in the process of developing some apps, some platforms which are related to environment education, which are related to reducing maternal mortality and help ASHA worker working on the agri and allied industries, as well as bringing in multiple opportunities and services available for as far as youth is concerned. And I feel very happy that whenever we are talking about being a technology company, we feel very, very overwhelmed that the technology could be used as a very strong contributor, differentiator, and mechanism to reach masses and evolve some of the solution and some of the uh, 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 products which can be very effectively used to address the issues which might be impacting lives of people and planet. Um, so on this project also, many of our engineers are working not only for the product development, but also how artificial intelligence, cloud, and automation and machine learning can be used effectively to identify the areas which are really, really impacting community life, and how those areas can be identified, and then all the engineers who are and experts who are sitting in the company, they can participate into uh, uh, participate effectively to work with NGOs, charities, philanthropies, multiple expert agencies, and startups like we are having in for the grand challenges, and really support them in evolving solutions, and also not only evolving solutions but also seeing how they can be supported at the ground. So that is something which we are very keen, and more than at present more than 100 200 engineers are supporting me on multiple community based issues. So I think that's the kind of commitment the company is investing, not only from the employee side but also from the leadership side, whether it's from India or from the global team. Everybody feels that technology is a very, very effective and very powerful in making doing some social good. So that's where we are at present. I would be very happy if you, Praveen, we have been working with you, and you have been, involving my colleagues, and as and when the need be, we'll continue doing that. Whatever way you feel this project need to be supported, we are there for everyone.
Thank you.
Thanks a lot.
Thank you so much, Nuzhat. Really appreciate that. And we've thoroughly enjoyed this partnership and look forward to achieving more as we move along. Next, I'd like to move on to Varma. Varma, specifically, in the context of this grand challenge, we've partnered with INAI as the technology partner. I think startups in particular would be interested with the nature of the kind of data will be provided to them, and INAI would be a crucial partner that will be enabling us with that. And also how, from a point of view of evaluation, how INAI is expected to play a role. If you can shed some light on that.
Sure. Thanks, Praveen. I hope it's not noisy. I'm outside.
It's fine.
Okay. So, INA is the Applied AI Research Institute at IIT Hyderabad, and it's a combination of academia and then Intel, which is industry partner, and government of Telangana, and also a couple of other organizations on the healthcare side. Our main goal is to use AI to solve real problems out there on the ground. That's the goal, right? And we have two focus areas, smart mobility and healthcare. And in the smart mobility,
Just
we
share
actually
one
did a
document.
lot of stuff over the past 4-5
Go
years
through
in
that
terms of
blueprint.
putting together data sets out
Yeah.
there. We have something called Indian driving data set. That's the only public data set of Indian driving data conditions. So this challenge, to do this kind of stuff is right down our alley, right? So we have a vehicle called Bodhyan that was unveiled by Minister KTR Garu a couple of months ago, and that's what will be used to collect the data for this challenge. So this is like the second version of the vehicle. The first version of the vehicle was used over the past 5 years. Now we have enhanced that vehicle with beyond the regular cameras with IR cameras, radar, and lidar. So I have a very rich roadmap of data sets that we're planning to put out. So as Rama Devi was saying, right, this startups who are starting on this, first of all, just even this pothole detection algorithm can scale all over country, and beyond that, we have a lot more data sets than that startups can look forward to work with and develop solutions. And yeah, just one thing on evaluation. So as part of that, we also have experts here who have been developing algorithms and looking at algorithms, so they'll get involved in the evaluation of the algorithms as well.
Thank you so much, Varma. Really appreciate you sharing that. Hopefully this was clear enough for startups, but we'll also try to capture some of this in the form of FAQs so that there's a greater understanding of the kind of data and the nature of data that is going to be on the offer. Lastly, and also more importantly, I'd like to move on to Mr. Sahadev Ratnakar, who's the SE at the Greater Hyderabad Municipal Corporation. I think it's important, sir, for us to understand the kind of technology applications at GHMC that have been applied in the past, and also continuing on the same way, how do you think this kind of problem that is being solved through this challenge, how GHMC will be benefiting out of that? So, sir, over to you.
Yeah, as I said earlier, also we are appreciating and looking forward to this mobility challenge because presently, as in GHMC, we have a mechanism wherein we identify the potholes on the roads. We have some separate gangs and there's agencies where we identify the potholes, and the very next day we will get the material and we apply onto the we'll section the pothole into a perfect shape, and we'll put the material and we'll do all this compaction also, and that is going on. We have agencies. We have totally about 9,000 kilometers roads in GHMC, and we have given about 850 kilometers roads to specific agencies throughout the spread over 6 zones in GHMC, wherein they are totally we are on the job of laying the roads and also maintaining the roads. If any potholes are observed, we have a mechanism of immediately going and attending. But as you said, definitely it is AI driven, and this startups, this will be a more our fetching for us, and in days to come, to as on the portal is identified, and it immediately it comes to our app like thing. We can and our team will go and attend the portals, and so that many we can prevent any accidents, and we can focus on road safety. And from our side, we are presently our mechanism from our side we are doing it is good, but we still, as you said, any further improving, and also that we were looking forward, and we want to use to the benefit of the citizens, please.
Thank you, Sadev Garu. I think it's very important that you highlighted, how AI can potentially help solve this problem. It's very nice to know that there is a mechanism in which potholes are being addressed today. But we are hoping that through this process and through the solutions that will get developed by the startups, and at least the one that we will pick eventually, will have a way to augment your pothole identification process, as well as the way in which you sort of allocate how these potholes are to be remedied in some ways. But we will reach out to you. We'll constantly stay in touch with you as well as we continue to proceed. So, Mr. Sadev Garu, thank you so much, as well as to the rest of the panelists. I appreciate all the time, all the inputs that you have provided to us so far. Really appreciate that very much. We have come to the end of the webinar, and if you have any questions, you can also write to us at tam@nascom.in. We'll aim to respond at the fastest, but I believe the FAQs document would have most of the questions. So please go through the FAQs document on the website. This is the website again. We will hope to have the FAQs document up on the website by end of the day tomorrow. And please check that. If you think your question is not in the FAQs document, at that point in time, you can feel free to write to us. We'll thank you once again for being here, for joining us in today's webinar. Hopefully it was informative listening to all the various speakers, and you also know where to reach out to us. So thank you once again. All the very best. Good luck. Make sure you remember the timelines. It's very important. Okay. Bye, everyone. Good day.